Present.
Hamilton, present. Way. Wallace. Hello, Wallace.
Wallace, we can't hear you. You might be on mute. Continue.
Randall.
Present.
Fakir.
Present.
Lee.
Here.
I thought I heard Wallace earlier. Wallace, we can't hear you. If you could log back on or in some way let us know, that would be great. We're going to continue the meeting though. And Mark Wallace is present when we hear him.
Sorry, I just come back. I'm present.
Okay, you could be marked as present. The next item is adoption of the agenda. There is one item that we're planning that we don't need to address that is on the agenda. Which one was that? Was that?
E is in Edward. Items
I don't
for
see it here.
information. Items for information, E.
Oh, item for information.
Credit card statements? Correct.
Yeah, item information is not available, so I suggest that the agenda be adopted absent that item. Is there a motion?
Move to adopt the agenda without item 3E.
I second.
Please take the roll.
Noreen?
Yes.
Hamilton? Yes. Way?
Yes.
Randall?
Yes.
Fakir?
Yes.
Ali?
Yes.
Motion carries. The next item is approval of previous meeting minutes. Is there a motion to adopt the previous minutes?
I move to adopt the previous meeting's minutes.
I second.
Please take the roll.
Noreen?
Yes.
Hamilton? Yes. Way?
Yes.
Randall?
Yes.
Fakir?
Yes.
Ali?
Yes.
Just clarification for the board members, in particular new board members. You can see that I'm moving forward and not asking for questions on things like the minutes. If you do have any questions when we move to an item like this, please bring it up and we would have discussion. Otherwise, I'm just moving forward.
Will do.
On the agenda is communications from the public. This is the time in which we accept communication from the public on issues that either are or are not on the agenda. Are there any members of the public who would like to address the board? I hear no members. Continue on the next item on the agenda, items of information and discussion. The first item is ICS renewal update.
Actually today, I just submitted what I believe will be the final revision for the ICS petition. There were just a couple of issues outstanding, so we got it fixed up. One formatting issue, got that fixed. At this point, the process has been very positive. We've received good feedback from the charter school division, our specialist Jose. We are now going to start preparing for engaging LAUSD board members and informing them of things that we feel like are discussed, as well as a couple things that have been identified by us, but also throughout the renewal process that are some areas where we need to work on and what we're doing about those so that there's no surprises in the board meeting. That'll include some families and kids messaging positives, preparing some staff members for potentially speaking, and then on November 19th will be the board meeting where there will be a vote, and so we'll have people there supporting and ready to speak, and we'll be hoping for a positive outcome there.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of Jake on this item? The next item is the state testing data. Can you tell us a little bit about that? We've had a chance to look at it. I could open it up for questions, or do you want to say anything about
I
it?
don't have anything really to say. We just have a, we can display it if you'd like, or, but it's,
I'm going to ask for comments from board members, comments or questions from board members.
I was looking at looking at the graphs. It gave us an overall indication of how the subgroups are doing, and I'm wondering, is it anywhere where it breaks it down into subgroups, or where I can view it where it's broken down into subgroups? Because
yeah, that's not included in this presentation, but I can provide that for you by tomorrow if you'd like. Or at a future-
anytime this week will be fine.
Okay.
And okay, and now in at Box, I'm also looking at the progress from 2014-15 until this past testing administration. Am I looking at it correctly, seeing that we have increased in the standard not met category?
Let me pull it up.
Which one are you looking
Yeah,
at?
I'm looking at mathematics in particular right now.
And you're looking at Box?
Yeah, I'm looking at Box.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Okay. And it appears that in ELA, well, not for Box, but in ELA, it seems to be showing the same pattern.
Correct.
Okay. Just making sure that I'm looking at this correctly.
Yes.
Okay.
This is looking at the mass data as well. On the first page of the mass data, there are two purple lines. I understand one represents Box and the other one represents ICMS. But from my end, I couldn't tell which one is for ICMS because both lines are in purple. I'm not sure if other board members have the same problem.
Yes.
Yes, that was.
Okay.
That's an easy fix, but the data is also on slide 6. That,
Yes.
Just for reference, but yeah, good. Thank you for the feedback.
Other questions or comments from board members?
I just found it really interesting that when we look at the bar charts by grade level performance in ELA, there's definitely some variation and not really like a pattern emerging, but in math, I found it really interesting that when you look at all the grade levels together, there's a very clear decreasing. And so I'm excited to see the impact of the new curriculum and I think a more holistic approach and a lot more like vertical alignment. I think that that's a great next step to address it. My question, not fully related to that or not really related, is how has this data been analyzed at the site level and shared with staff, and kind of what's been done beyond, sharing with us?
It's been shared with staff at each school, and then instructional leadership teams have spent more time digging into it, and you'll find more of that analysis in the beginning of the school improvement plans, which will be presented next month.
Other questions or comments from board members? I have a couple. One is, do we have a feeling yet, or do we have data showing the impact of the new curriculum?
I think it's too early to tell. Yeah, at this point, especially with the new curriculum, we're really trying to figure out the best way to capture implementation data, just to ensure that we're actually doing what we said we wanted to do.
Okay.
To be able to actually test the theory if the new curriculum would have a positive impact. So that's probably what most of this year will be. Obviously, we'll have some indication as we get later into the year with with some of the instructional assessment blocks and our other internal benchmark already.
My,
What curriculum are we using in math?
I'm sorry.
Eureka. It's it's also, it was being used, there was some variation. Some people were using the free version, which was Engage New York. But we ended up purchasing it so that everybody could use it and have better resources.
Remind us what we're using for ELA.
The Readers and Writers Workshop and Compass and Cornell for phonics.
Okay. And then my other question is, could we see our outcomes vis-a-vis our comparable schools?
Yeah,
If it's going to take a little bit of work for somebody to put that together.
yeah, we already have the data for ICS just because of the renewal. But I don't think it will be too difficult to get it for the other schools. We'll have it for sure when when we have our oversight visit for ICMS.
Yeah.
But we can get it for Box and Clarion.
I would appreciate seeing it for all the schools. Is there anyone from the board who disagrees with that?
I think that'd be really great because it connects to one of the metrics on the strategic plan. So being able to see the progress towards reaching that median level or exceeding the median level of local schools.
Are there any other questions on the state testing data? Let's move to the next item, which is the California Dashboard Local Indicator Update. And are you going to be introducing this? We've had a chance to look at it. Should we just open it up to questions?
Yeah, this is, so the California dashboard is where the general public can go and access information. It's kind of like a report card about each school in the state. And I should almost have you explain it. But there are, and it's aligned to the state's priorities. And some of the data is obviously, state reportable data like suspension, expulsion, test results. But the portion that you're looking at that was presented to the board are our local indicators that we provide, I guess, information for and submit to the state, and then that information is reviewed by the state and updated on the dashboard, which is that is due on the 1st of November.
And right now, there's a requirement that this be presented to the board
That's, yep.
by a particular date, not voted on by the board, but simply presented. So right now, you're presenting it to the board. Are there any questions or comments from board members on the dashboard local indicators?
Did we not meet any local indicators
Last year?
this year, in what you're sharing or in
To
this reporting?
To my knowledge, no.
I'd make sure that is clearly stated somewhere in the future, so that it can be
Got it.
shown that you reported to the board, met, not met, as well as
Okay.
all the evidence is phenomenal. And I was gonna say, I think the use of Youth Truth and like all the data that you pulled in is really, really supports the self-assessment ratings well.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions or comments from board members on the dashboard local indicators? Not hearing any, let's move to the next item, which is the presentation of the check registers. My understanding is that this is some sort of requirement to present them.
It's basically just for your information,
Okay.
so that you have an opportunity to review it. And
Are there any questions or comments from board members on the check registers?
This is Wallace. It seems the numbers, the check number, the check amount was not shown. It's probably not printed or put into the PDF document in a correct way. So it's probably printed to page was divided into two parts. So the first part is check number, check date, vendor name, and invoice number. And the check amount was showing in a different page. So it's difficult to tell for each particular check what is the amount.
Thank you for the feedback.
It's
We'll
just
make
a
sure
setup
that,
issue.
yeah, we'll make sure that changes next time.
Any other questions or comments on the check register? We dropped the credit card statements from the agenda. The next item is board member site visit report. Are there any board members who would like to report on a site visit that they have made since the last board meeting? Not hearing of any, we'll move to the next item, which is items scheduled for consent. Is there a motion to approve the consent items?
I so moved.
I second.
Please take the roll.
Noreen,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Wade,
Wade?
Sorry, yes, I just muted myself. Thank you.
Randall,
Yes.
Fakir,
Yes.
Ali,
Yes.
The motion carries. The next item is items for discussion. First item on that is approving the board member waiver for Wallace Way. Is there any discussion of this action item? If not, is there a motion to approve?
I so move.
I second.
Please take the roll.
Noreen,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Wade,
I think I have to abstain from this item.
okay. Randall,
Yes.
Fakir,
Yes.
Ali.
Yes.
The motion carries. The next item is approval of sale of receivables to Charter School Capital. Are there any questions from board members regarding this item?
I would appreciate in the future we could get a cash flow projection at each month. So when I was in charge, we tend to be probably overly conservative in terms of our cash flow projection. So we tend to probably a little bit conservative in our borrowing. Means we probably borrow a little bit more we actually need. So if we have the cash flow projection, we can look at how much cash we will have by the end of each month. So we'll basically as a board determine whether the borrowing amount is appropriate.
I agree.
Okay, Jay?
Is that just every month or just in connection when we bring forward the sale of receivables?
I think it will be a pretty, these companies should be able to produce a cash flow projection pretty easily. So I would say when we have monthly board meeting, there's just a regular posting of cash flow projection along with other financial statements.
May I suggest that be included with the financial review?
Yes.
Which actually reminds me, I don't think I see a place on this agenda for the review of financials. Maybe we didn't have new ones, so we didn't.
Correct.
Okay, that's fine. Why don't I suggest that it be done this way? When there are financial updates, financial reviews, it would include the cash flow projection, which means that we wouldn't have it this month because we didn't have the financial review. But would you be okay with that, Wallace?
Yeah, of course, sure.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on item B, approval of sale of receivables? Is there a motion to approve item B?
I motion we approve the sales of receivables.
I second.
Please take the roll.
Noreen,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Wade,
Aye.
Randall,
Yes.
Fakir,
Yes.
Ali.
Yes.
The next item C is review and discussion regarding draft amended bylaws for approval at a future meeting. Are any questions or comments from board members on this item? I actually have some questions. I'm not hearing anyone else. Let me go into them. There appears to be a new requirement that all meetings have at least telephone connections with all of our school sites. That appears to include if we have a retreat. So, do you know, Jake, if that's the case? It looks to me as that it was not done just for regular meetings. I think it said all meetings. January 1st next year. Wasn't in effect yet.
Because we're amending these for the ICS renewal.
Yeah. They wanted us to do it. So this is a new requirement, but we would have to, if we have a future retreat, we would have to type it at all sites.
Yes,
Okay,
and we'll
that's
have
a
to put in LED.
I had a couple of others I don't see. I'm sorry, give me a moment. There it is.
What page?
I found where my comments are. I'm just searching for them. I only had a couple. I think I have one more, just a moment. I'm a little bit confused about section 13 on page 5. And that's and Jennifer, you might be able to help with this. It states regular meetings shall be held at any place within the physical boundaries of the county in which the charter school or schools are located. And I'm just wondering about, how we deal with there are all telephone meetings. How we deal with that on the 50% of board meetings being held with a quorum of board members attending within the LA Unified School District. Actually, I think I understand it now. What would happen is if we had a telephone conference, 50% would have to attend within the boundaries of LA Unified still.
Or like if I
It's
participated
50%
from
of the board
home,
meeting. Yeah, like you
Like,
are within the.
because my house is
Your house is
within
within it,
LAUSD,
Right.
it's
I think
fine.
I answered my own question. I'm okay. Those are my only questions.
Might,
Any other? Go ahead.
just a comment on that, it might be because I'll connect with you, there might be a couple meetings we need to be extra careful about, because I know that I'm traveling.
Right, and we had
so-
talked about that because Wallace being out of.
Yeah, we'll
area,
need to
we
be
have to make
cautious.
sure we have a full quorum
In LAUSD,
Yeah.
okay.
Any other discussion on item C? Is there a motion to approve item C? Please call the roll.
Noreen,
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Wei,
Yes.
Randall,
Yes.
Shakir,
Yes.
Ali,
Yes.
Let's move to item D. This is discussion and potential action granting the acting superintendent authority to negotiate and resolve the LAUSD over allocation payment requests. Can you tell us what you need for that?
I did your proof to do so.
Can you phrase a resolution for us? It could be just along the lines,
Grant the
resolve
acting
that,
superintendent, to move to grant the acting superintendent authority to negotiate and resolve the allocation payment requests.
how about this? Resolve that the acting superintendent has the authority to negotiate and resolve. Did you catch that?
Yep.
Can you read it back?
Just a second, I'm still writing.
So Jennifer is going to read back the resolution, and after she reads it back, I'm going to be inviting comments from board members.
Okay, correct me if I missed some. Resolve that the acting superintendent has the authority to negotiate and resolve the over-allocation, the LAUSD over-allocation payments. Is that correct?
Yeah. Any questions or comments from board members? Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
I motion to approve the resolution.
I second.
Please call the roll.
Noreen?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Wei?
Yes.
Randall?
Yes.
Bakir?
Yes.
Ali?
Yes.
The next item is closed session. At this time, we will move into closed session. At
Okay, Glenn.
Open session was, the closed session ended at 5:30. There was no action taken in closed sessions. The next item on the agenda is board meeting evaluation and planning for next meeting. At this moment, I wanted to mention that I have looked at the bylaws with regards to subcommittees, and there is a requirement, except for subcommittees appointed for new members, for finding new members, there is a requirement that the board approve members of committees. So the members that we appointed in retreat should be confirmed at the next board meeting. There will be an agenda item for it. I don't think that should slow us down. My expectation is that committee members will go ahead and start working, but they'll be confirmed at the next meeting.
What kind of committee?
So
is it?
so there should be an agenda item for appointing committee members. And for right now, just leave it that open. An agenda item for appointing board committee members.
So these are not going to be ad hoc committees, they're going to be standing committees?
Leave it open. Just
Okay.
say committees.
Just as an aside, ad hoc committees do not follow the Brown Act, and standing committees do.
Really?
So I would have to post an agenda and take minutes at every committee meeting.
So these,
It's a standing.
so if they're ad hoc committees, I didn't see that carve out in our bylaws.
It's in the Brown Act.
It's in the Brown Act. We can do them as ad hoc
We
committees.
would want to do it as an ad hoc committee.
Yes.
Then it's not indefinite.
So,
It's for a purpose, and then it stops.
yeah, these are for
Yeah.
limited purposes. So we're okay with what we did. Okay, you learn something new every day.
Thank you, Jennifer.
So delay that, we do not need to have that agenda item.
Do we need to approve ad hoc committees still, or?
It's for transparency purposes, at the very minimum, not having read it recently. I think that because it's.
We should still have that
It's good
agenda.
practice just to say that we're forming this ad hoc committee because then it's on the record. And people who were not in attendance at the board retreat would have the access to know that that's happening.
So then leave it on
I'll
as,
leave it on as an agenda item.
confirmation of ad hoc committee appointments.
Got it, thank you.
Any other comments on the board meeting, evaluation of this board meeting or planning for next meeting?
Just an appreciation for our board chair, running a really effective meeting. Efficient and
Sure.
effective.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions?
I would like to propose that we trade the locations for the January and February meetings. That would enable me to be able to attend the January meeting in person. And I think because we have a number of people who now regularly attend remotely, so I would need the January meeting to be at Clarion, and then that would make February at ICMS. But I wanted to bring that to the whole group in case someone had plans already.
Any concerns about that proposal?
Sounds okay to me.
So please make it so, Jennifer. I don't think we need any, the dates are,
Yeah, I don't
Location
feel like
should
we
be
need to amend the calendar, it's just gonna be an internal switch. And we'll
Yeah.
publicize it to our stakeholders.
okay, very good. Any other questions or comments for this agenda item? Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I move to adjourn today's meeting.
I second.
Please call the roll.
Noreen,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Wade,
Aye.
Randall,
Yes.
Bakir. Bakir.
I think we lost her.
No, she's just muted. And Ali.
Yes.
So we'll just leave Bakir off. It's okay. Thank you. The meeting is adjourned at 5:37.